Okay, I had the cylinder heads blanks roughed out, and then I messed one up. Drilled a hole, drilled the porthole at the wrong, basically at the wrong angle, because I went from the wrong side. What I did was I loaded it on my holding fixture upside down. So I messed one up, so I'm starting over and I'm making two fresh ones, just in case I mess another one up. And I'm over on the mill. I've got the material squared up here. I've got the material squared up. Right now I've dialed in the center, so I'm sitting on the exact center of that of this block. I've zeroed my dials. So now I need to drill and bore the two valve guide holes. It's where the valves guides will fit in. And there's not going to be a valve cage in this. It's going to be kind of like what the original was, except that the cylinder heads are going to be made of the material that I have quite a bit of, that I purchased from where I used to work. When I was working there and they allowed me to buy material, I bought a whole bunch of 7075 T651. So you hear me say that a lot, because that's 90% of what I have. That's what I have, and that stuff is actually pretty tough material. So aircraft quality. I always laugh when I hear that, aircraft quality aluminum. So anyway, I'm sitting on center. I'm going to go ahead and put a drill chuck in, and we're gonna drill these two holes. And I want to hold those pretty tight, so I'm not going to drill and ream them or anything. I'm going to drill and bore them, and then I need to get them so that it'll actually fit on my pins that are in this fixture. So I'll have to make sure that I hit the same dimension as I hit on the original, or ones that I did the first time. Okay, the two valve holes are at 500 spacing, so it's 250 off center line both ways. I have X locked, so that's not going to move, and I'm going to put a travel indicator on here. I do trust my dials, but just in case I get lost. So I've got a travel indicator. I'll set that. I've got a 1-inch travel indicator. I'll set that in the middle of travel. So we're at 0. Okay, and I want to make, and when you set travel indicator on, you want to make sure that you're parallel with the axis, because if you're off at an angle, it's not going to be right anyway. So anyway, I've got that on there. Now I'm going to crank 250 off center. So there's 1, 2, and 50. I gotta take the backlash out, and I'm checking it on my travel indicator. Looks good. So we're at 250 off center, and I'm just gonna take my calipers. Just gonna take my calipers and I'm just going to put a center line mark on there and then I'm going to go 250 off, so it should be at 1 inch. These are 2.5 inches. So 1 inch from the edge there, and 1 inch from the edge there, and then I kind of like to put just some witness scratches on there. That way, if you've made an obvious mistake, you can you can kind of see it and go, oh yeah, that's not right. But and plus when I'm doing a center line like that, I'll set it at the dimension that it's supposed to be on center line, and I'll go from one side and then the other. And then if you happen to be off a little bit, you'll see that there'll be a double line, and right in the center of that double line, that's where the center is. Hopefully that'll make sense to you. So, get a center drill. I'm going to drill them both in undersize on both of them, and then I'm going to go ahead and bore them with the boring head. Looks right. It's right on center. Make sure I'm in gear. Yep. And we need a drill that's undersized. I want to end up with a 342 diameter hole or somewhere around there. So I am going to drill it at a 5/16. I'm going to drill it at 312. Let's slow down. And what I'm going to do here is I want to put a mark, a witness mark, on my first hole and locating edges. I do that in case something goes awry. I know what side did I load it against. So that's good for the first hole. And then I'm just going to flip it, turn it around 180 degrees. I'm going to drill the other hole. Since they're 250 off center line each way, it should be fine. Kind of a tight fit in there. Okay. And now I'm gonna do the same thing to the second one. Hit the brake instead of the switch. gonna drop it down. One crank. Instead of struggling, fighting to get that in there. And I'm going to make my mark here. Switch to low. Okay, so we got the hole. Ow, got the holes roughed in. Really should use my brush. It's laying here somewhere. Oh, right here, instead of my finger. Okay, so now I'm the boring head set up, and it probably set up from when I roughed them off to start with, or made my blanks to start with. So I'll just take this out, and then I need a 3/4 inch collet for the boring head. And the boring head still has the boring bar in it. I can't trust it that the diameter will be the same. If you take the tool in and out, it's, you know, you could get a few thousandths error. So we'll back it off. Get the Allen wrench. We'll back it off one crank. Hopefully that'll be enough. Just want to see where we're at to start with. We're at 15. But I can crank it around. That should be 50 thousandths smaller than what it was. Yeah, and it is, because it's not touching now. So I'm gonna crank it out until it touches. Right there, it's dragging a little bit. And I'm gonna crank it up to 5/over. All right, engage my quill feed. I'll have to. There we go. And I'm in the low range, up low. And down here. And I want to set my stop, my quill stop, so that it kicks out. These blocks are 820, I think. So I'll just take and I'll set this for around 900. I set it for 900. The distance, I don't, well, you can't even see it, I'm sorry. I set this for 900, so it'll go down 900 and then kick out. All right, engaged. Kind of fast, but not chattering. Unlock my lock here. There we go. All right, I want to see where we're at. I'll get a snap gauge. Little snap gauge out and get a reading here. Ah, try it again. All right, Mike, let's see where we're at. We are at 332. And we want to go to, I'm pretty sure I made these at 342. No, I actually made them at 330, 338. Let's see what, this is the old blank. I'm just going to check. I can't remember what number I went to. I know I went to a number to make them fit nice on the holding fixture. What that number is, you know, I don't remember. My memory is getting bad. $341 I made them. And what did I say? I tell you, my memory is, what did I say this was? $332. Okay. So I gotta go about 9 thousandths. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll go 8,000. Give her a check. And we have about 340 and a half. They fit kind of snug on the fixture when I had it at 341. So I'm gonna go, I'm just gonna take a free pass, see what happens here. See if it'll oh yeah, she's taking a little bit. Did I get enough? Pretty cold outside again today. That should do it right there. So now I can either choose to swap the parts out, put this one in, or crank over the dimension. I think I'm just gonna, so I gotta remember now I got that dot toward me. So we'll just go ahead and take this one out, put this one in, and we'll do the same thing. Make it in 2 passes. Clean the chips off there first. Down, lock in, take a free pass. And now we'll crank out the 500. The reason I don't want to, you know, just turn it is if I'm off this way on center on a little bit, it could throw everything off. So I'm just going to go ahead and crank it in my 500. Then I know I'm there. That the distance between that is what I'm worried about, because I want it to fit on that fixture. So 100, 250, and then we got to go another 250. 100. 250, and then we'll go ahead and take a couple passes here. In, free pass. Okay, take that one out. I'm going to take a stone, and I don't want to burr quick it, because the valve chamfer, the valve will be seated on there, and I'll be seating the valves on there and creating the chamfer with the valve and lapping compound. So, and I'm going to do that on both sides here. I'm not going to run a burr quick, I'm just going to stone it. And fits nice on the fixture, no slop. So go ahead and do the second one. Down, lock it. Okay, that should take care of that. So now, now it's just a matter of putting in the bolt hole pattern. 170, yeah, 170 diameter, I believe they were, and they're at 9/16 off center. So it's 9/16 over, 9/16 this way, 9/16 that way. So again, I can just go and then set it for 1 and then just turn it. That's just drilling holes. And then I have one that's going to go through and hold the exhaust poured in, but I'm not going to put that in yet. I'm going to put that in after I get done with the exhaust stuff, the porting of it. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to go cut away here, and I'm going to go ahead and drill these holes. And when I come back, I'll be having one on the fixture here, and we'll set that up and give it another try, see if I can scrap out another one. I hope not, but you never know. Like I say, if you don't make mistakes, you don't learn. And so, you know, that's part of life. Yeah, you have to make a mistake, and you'll learn from it. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get these holes drilled. So I'll be back after I get them done. Okay, I have all the holes drilled into the cylinder head blocks, and now we're going to set up the fixture. So I have the fixture in the middle here. Try to set you in a spot where I can still, I think I'll lower you down. Yeah, there we go. So I have the fixture in here, and what I'm going to do is, and that's 2.5 inches wide, so I've got a 2 inch Joe block and a 1/2 inch Joe block I'm going to put over on this side. That way I keep the jaws from tilting when I tighten her up. And I'm just going to take and just snug it so that I can still move it. And I know that this has to be 21 degrees. So I'll take my my angle finder. Oh, I was going to dress. I'm gonna cut away here. I want to stone this bottom real good because I noticed that it's got a high spot on it, and I'm going to fix that. Okay, I kind of cleaned it up. It had some low spots here. I didn't clean it up all the way, but I got most of it to where it'll sit flat and not wiggle around. I noticed that last time I used it that it wasn't sitting, when I was on a block, that wasn't all covering that whole surface. So what I'm going to do is set it down here and zero it out. You can see, I should probably get a little lower yet here. So I've got it zeroed out now, and now I'll put it up here. I want to get it to 21. I'm going to put one of the blanks behind it, the one that I messed up, because I want to make, when I set this on here, I want it to sit parallel to x-axis. Must have hit the button. Okay, I want to zero it. Take it off and put it over here, and we're at 15. I don't know if you guys can read that or not, or see it even, but we're at 15, 15.4, and I want to get it to 20. So I'll just tip it up by hand. Oop. Sometimes you can hit it right on right away. Other times you just gotta go back and forth until you get it. That's pretty darn close right there. And I'm gonna call that good, and I'm gonna tighten the vise up. Good and snug. Oops. Yeah, so we're at 0.1, a tenth of a degree, so that's good enough for me. Turn that off. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and clean this off real good. Clean the top of my vise off real good. And I'm going to put the tooling ball in. This is a half-inch. This is a half-inch diameter tooling ball, and from the center line of where the shoulder meets the surface up is exactly 5/16 of an inch. So when I put that in there, that moves my tooling point out 5/16 of an inch, right in the center of that ball. So what I want to do is I want to find the center line of that ball from here, the height up. So I take my height stand here, set it down on there carefully, and move this in. I'm going to just swivel this around a little bit. Try to get it so that I can get on the ball here without falling off the vise. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the high spot of that ball. Okay, so I've got the high spot of that ball. Now what I'm going to do is go over to the surface plate and transfer that to my Cadillac gauge. And it is. Took me a minute here to crank it up here. It is exactly 1 inch 913 and a half. So I'm just going to set that down there for a second. So it's 1 inch 913 and a half. The tooling ball is 500, so it's 250. Subtracted from that. So that is center line. That's the center line of that. So now when I come to put my tool in there and get to the right depth, I just need to set my height stand to this number. So I'll go back to my Cadillac gauge and I'll set the height stand to that number, and then I can go underneath my cutter and find my cutter and get the correct depth on those counter boards. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody out there. And now I know where the center line is this way. Should be on the 0 mark here. One crank off. Should be right. Should be right. Am I still a crank off? I think I am. I gotta put an indicator in here. Actually, I'm gonna take that out so that I have room. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna drop the knee down a little bit before I dial it in, and then crank it back to my 0. Set it on 0. Then I'm gonna take the drill chuck out. Put my indicator in. Lock it in place. Down. And you can see that I'm a crank one crank off on the 0 here yet. So, one more crank on the y-axis. That should be good. Now I can unlock my X, move over, and I should be able to come out here. Actually, here, and pick up my 0 right there. Should be able to turn around and crank it over until it's 0. No, not even. Okay, well, I have to dial that in. And it should have been, unless I'm still off here, and I am. I'm still no crank out yet. Now we're getting close to 0. Alright. So if I come down here, pick a spot, and then crank it back and forth until I get the high spot, which will be on center. I should be able to swing this around. Quite right. But we're going to dial this in now. Let's move up a little bit. Probably see in the back of my head is all 0, bottomed out, 10, 5, 2, 0. We're within a half down now of being dialed in. So I'm going to 0 my dial out on my x-axis here. And then first crank in, and then I'm going to crank back, take the backlash out. Hopefully I didn't bottom my indicator out. Set my 0. And then move again, go back to 0 on the dial. And I'm just going to double check, make sure. Oh, we're about 2 thou. So it's I got to move my dial 1,000. So I'll go back to 0 and then loosen it, move it a thou, and then take it to the 0. This is really not that critical, but it's nice to be on the right dimension. I'll get it. Try it one more time. I loosened my dial up, put it backlash, take the backlash out to the 0, set my 0, and move past and take it back to 0. Now we're on 0. Wow. Oh. Okay. You'd swear that this is the first time I've ever dialed anything in. 0. Okay. We're at 1, 2, 3, so I gotta go to 1.5 thou. Right there. loosen my dial up again. And back out to 0. Set it. Past it. Back to 0. 0, 0, 0. Alright. Sorry about that. Took a little longer than what usually takes. I don't know. Maybe I need some more tea. Okay, so now we can move over the dimension, which I believe was, according to my drawing, 734 thousandths from here over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700, and then 34. 10, 20, 30, and 4. So we go back past it, take the backlash out, and lock. So that should be the spot. Oh, uncorrect. Does anybody see what's wrong? I do. I have the angle tipped the wrong way. It's 21 degrees this way. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and go through this exact same thing again with it tipped the other way. So I'll just loosen it up, turn it, get it set, get my height, and then redial in, and I should be set to go. So it'll be the exact same procedure, only tipped the correct direction. I'll be back.